Charles Purcell presents.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. It's your special host for today. Two of us. It's me, Chucky Bucky, and right next to me here, Uncle Chuck. Well, hello there, Chucky Bucky. Good to see ya. And of course, we're here with a very special Charles Purcell Presents because we're going to talk about the Pope. Well, that's right, Chucky Bucky. We got a brand new Pope. And as a couple of recovering Catholics, as we're known as recovering Catholics, we thought we'd come in and do a special episode about the new Pope. Oh, it's very exciting. You know, at least it is for a lot of people. I'll tell you the truth, Uncle Chuck, I'm not excited. Well, of course, neither am I, but we're going to pretend we are, at least for this half hour. Oh, no, we don't have to pretend, but we are going to talk about it. I guess it's a big deal, right? Well, according to everybody else, it's a big deal. All the television networks over in Rome and all the people were so happy about it. Oh, goodness gracious, that's the thing I noticed the most. People are so dang happy. It's unbelievable how happy they are. I know that watching the coverage, it was... They're happier than even fans in Philadelphia when they win the Super Bowl or the World Series even, right? So sometimes I can't relate. I wonder how are people. I don't know. I just don't get it. Well, I don't either. It's I'm not complaining about it. It's nice to see people so happy. Well, sure it is. Good for them. I wish I could be that happy sometime. Yes. Oh my goodness. I mean, good for them. I'm not going to be sarcastic or cynical about it. They're genuinely happy and I'm happy for them. I like to see happy people. Did you see in the coverage, the one shot of the couple of kids up? There were a lot of kids on shoulders, right? Oh yeah, lots of that. And the one girl was just crying, just weeping hysterically. It reminded me of the old footage we saw, the old black and white footage we saw of the Beatles fans. Oh, all right. Okay, so I guess there's one thing we found here that makes people just as happy as the Pope. It's the Beatles. Well, John Lennon did say that they were bigger than Jesus, remember? Oh, yeah. We're bigger. How can you do a John Lennon? Oh, we're bigger than Christ. I can't do a British accent. Can you? Well, let me try. Okay. We're bigger than Jesus. That's pretty good, Uncle Chuck. There's my John Lennon impression. So we've got a new Pope. He's Pope Leo the 14th is the name he chose. And of course, he's I forgot his name now. What was his name? Oh, Bob. His name was Robert Prevost, and people knew him as Father Bob from Chicago, just down south here where we are in Milwaukee, so right here in the neighborhood. That's right, and people are very excited about that. He's a White Sox fan, apparently, or he was. I don't know. That's according to his family. He's got a couple of brothers they interviewed, so he's a White Sox fan, and he's a kid from the south side of Chicago. Yep, he sure is. So he's one of our own, and he's just about your age there, Uncle Chuck. Yeah, he's just about my age, so we grew up you and I both grew up Catholic, and that's kind of why Charles Purcell chose us to, take over the episode today. Okay, so, well, what should we know now about the new Pope? One thing that kind of surprised me is the Pope. I guess I didn't really know this that much. He's a real, an administrator. He has to really run things. Oh, sure. That's the role of the Pope. He's the boss, right? He runs things. And so having sort of administrative experience, like being a governor or a president, or that's really what the job is about. Yeah, I see him running around in the Pope Mobile and talking to people, and run into having being in front of the, what do you call it when you're in charge of the mass? Conducting the holding mass. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really think of the Pope as being this big sort of boss man who's running this big organization and this big. Well, I mean, it's obvious, right? Sure, it's obvious that he is, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. You think of him mainly in that good shepherd kind of a thing. So, one of the things they said on the nose regarding this administrative duties he has here, being the boss, is that the Vatican is having financial problems. Yeah, what is the deal with that? I thought the Catholic Church had more money than God. I thought they were like flush with cash. I thought they had real estate holdings all around the world, and they got all that gold and stuff. The Sistine Chapel, and shoot, looks like the Oval Office with all the gold in the Vatican. Yeah, I don't claim to be an expert, and really that's not why we're here today. We're not here to be experts on anything. No. Let's abuse anyone of that notion right away. Is that the correct usage of that phrase? To abuse someone of a notion? I don't know. Let's look that up after the show. Well, maybe we should look it up now before we edit the show. Oh, we're not going to edit this show. No. It's the weekend here coming up. I got no time for editing. All right. Okay. Well, yeah. So apparently the church is having financial problems, and they think that he's maybe a good leader, a good administrator to get them through the hard times. Yeah, I still don't get it. They got more money than God. I don't understand. Okay, so, well, we watched the coverage. First of all, how did you find out, Uncle Chuck? Well, I found out when you texted me. Oh, was I told you? Yeah, when you texted, hey, we got a new pope and he's American. Well, I thought I was just commenting. I didn't realize I was actually telling you. Yeah, that's how I found out. And so I turned on the television there just before, so I had a chance to watch the whole deal. Yes, and so he comes out, and I was really disappointed that he didn't speak English. Yeah, he doesn't. I know what you mean. I was kind of disappointed too. He started in Italian, so no, that's Swedish. What you're doing there. I can't. That wasn't as good as your John Lennon impression. Okay, I can't. I guess neither one of us are very good mimics, I guess. Yeah, he didn't speak English. He spoke Italian. God loves everyone. And then he spoke Spanish, because we learned about this guy. He spent the last 20 years or so in Rome, working at the Vatican, right? I don't know. I got to get this straight. But as a pretty young man, as a pretty young priest, he went from Chicago, Father Bob did, to Peru. Yeah, I think that's Peru. And he was there for like the next 25 years. So he spent lots and lots of time at kind of a poor area of Peru as kind of a, what they call it, a missionary type deal. Right. So he spoke Italian, and then he switched into Spanish. And then I think he read something in Latin, some sort of blessing or something. So yeah, I heard he speaks 5 different languages. Holy hell, yes, that's really something. That's a smart guy, 5 languages. And he reads like 2 or 3 more. Right. So that's something I kind of like about the guy. If he's gonna, you and I aren't really interested in Catholicism anymore, and dare I say, I don't want to speak for you. Well, I think we agree. It's all kind of silly. Well, sure, the whole thing's kind of silly, but the matter of fact is, he is now a world leader with a lot of influence. Well, exactly right. That was just what I was just about to say. So it matters. This stuff matters here. It's not like we can just write the whole thing off and say, oh, who cares? It matters. And the fact that he's so smart, I think that's good as compared to what we have here, the dumbest guy ever to go into Oval Office. All right, let's try not to bring him into it at all. Yeah, there is one thing I'd like to say though while we're there is, one of the first things I thought of. I thought, okay, now who's the most famous American in the world now? You big dopey buffoon. It's not you anymore, little baby. Right. That's right. He's no longer the most famous American. We now have the most famous American is now Pope Leo XIV. Right. So what were we saying? Oh, right. He's really smart. And let's see. He's got a college degree in mathematics, I guess. Yeah. And I imagine when you're a priest, you also, I don't know, don't you have to have some sort of degree in theology or some sort? Oh, I think that goes without saying. You got to have some of that too. But apparently he's this very smart guy, and he's an Augustinian. Right. He's an Augustinian. That's one of the orders. They got a bunch of different orders. I can't name them. I guess there's the Franciscans. Francis, of course, was a Franciscan. Right. And there's the Dominicans and the Jesuits, and I got several more. And they each have their own kind of flavor. And the Augustinians follow after St. Augustine, who was a really well-regarded, famous philosopher of Western philosophy, as they call it. Yes, that's right. That's one thing I did know, that, St. Augustine is well known outside of just being a religious person as being one of the big philosophers in the Western tradition. So right when I heard that, I thought, okay, well, that's pretty good. A little bit about Augustine. Here's something I didn't know. You've heard the expression love of wisdom as like the definition of philosophy, the love of wisdom? Yeah. Well, Augustine coined that phrase, according to this, that he coined the phrase that philosophy is the love of wisdom. And then the idea that, now I'm reading from my notes here, seeing true wisdom as ultimately identical with God. Oh, see, now that's wonderful. I love that whole idea. And without getting too deeply into this, we don't want to make this about us and our philosophy today. Oh, I know, sure, but you and I have talked about these things too. Well, yes, and the point I guess I'm making is that that's something that we've decided on ourselves is, we don't have to have any sort of God. That wisdom itself, truth itself, and especially the seeking of it, that's all you need. You don't have to put a big, God on top of that. You don't have to make up mythologies and make up fictional characters and get all supernatural about it. That's really all you need is wisdom, truth, and seeking that wisdom and truth. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where we are. And we're a couple of good old-fashioned atheists, right? Well, yeah, if you want to think about this half hour as the atheist take on the new pope. So anyway, the fact that he's an Augustinian, that's kind of struck my interest, and I looked up St. Augustine because I'd read him as a student, as a philosophy student, and I didn't really much remember exactly. But, I was happy to see what I read there. And, that whole Augustinian tradition about seeking wisdom and understanding, not just being a big old, religious tenets are not to be questioned, not at all. The Augustinians have this great respect for education and for intellectual pursuit, right? And St. Augustine himself was into lots of things, not just religion. He was into like metaphysics and ethics, and human nature. He was like a real legit like philosopher. Yep, that's right. And the fact that I've heard that these different orders definitely have an impact on the priests, the religious people who are in those orders. Well, sure, like, you know, Francis, the guy who just died, he was a Franciscan, of course, and you know, Saint Francis was famous for being very like gentle and being very like modest and not all about the trappings. And he was famous for the love of nature, right? You know, and so that's what people loved about Pope Francis, that he was like this regular guy, you know, this very gentle sort of type guy. Right. So we have an Augustinian now, and a kind of an intellectual, a religious leader who has respect for reason and logic and thought and intellectualism, and we like that. Yep, we do. As a couple of recovering Catholics, now very happy atheists, again, we understand the guy is important to the world, so we get it. Right, sure. The other thing, too, is, you know, whenever there's a new pope, right? Whenever there's a new pope, you wonder about, okay, is the Catholic Church finally going to go kicking and screaming, finally get dragged into the 21st century? You know, things like, gay marriage and abortion and women priests and all the kind of reform that people hope for. Well, sure, and especially, oh my gosh, American Catholics, all the surveys, the people who research this stuff, they always tell us that American Catholics, by large majorities, they're not with the traditional doctrine when it comes to those things. Gay marriage, birth control, like you said, having women priests, all this stuff. The American Catholics, they want the church to modernize. Right, so every time there's a new pope, there's new hope. There's hope for the pope every time, that maybe. And then every time those hopes are dashed. Yep, oh, yes they are. And you can count this among the other times too. You know, this guy's not going to change anything about gay marriage. He's not going to change anything about birth control, or about he's not going to have women priests. No, it's the new. Here's the big headline. We bury the lead. The new pope, ladies and gentlemen, is Catholic. Well, that's right. That's the headline. New pope is Catholic. So if you had any big ideas about all of this, you know, he's not gonna no, and the general conservatism of the Catholic Church, of course, will hold. As much as one thing I noticed, I took note of, is as much as they say, welcome the stranger, you know, I know Pope Francis was very critical of immigration policies around the world. But still, the Catholic Church doesn't call for open borders like we do. And we do on Charles Purcell Presents, and over on the Log, we're calling for open borders. And no, Catholic Church says no, every nation has the right to close their borders and let in who they want. Yep. Oh, they're still, you know, really very conservative generally. You know, I wanted to be a priest when I was a kid. You know, I did too. I think a lot of Catholic boys did. Yeah, lots of memories from the old Catholic days. Did you go? You're a little bit older than me now. Did you go when? Because we both went to Catholic school, right? Oh yeah. Did you go when it was like the mean nuns with the hitting you on the hand with the rulers and stuff? Oh yeah, that's the way it was. That's the way it was for me. It was the old school, you know, corporal punishment, and it could get pretty, I don't know, it could get pretty bad. But, you know, it wasn't all bad. I enjoyed being an altar boy. That was kind of fun. Did you ever have a priest, you know, go after your diddlies or anything like that? No, I never did. I heard about it. And in the news coverage of having a new pope, it's all pretty just happy, fluffy news. Very little talk about the horrible abuse problem in the church. No, very little. I did hear one sort of smaller headline that what do they call it? Oh, I forgot what they call it. There's that organization, the SNAP or whatever they call it, the victims of priest abuse. Right. They did have a statement saying that this Cardinal Prevost, who's the new pope, that he wasn't as serious as he should have been about pursuing, the issue. Yeah, that's a common criticism of almost everybody in the hierarchy there of the church, that they haven't done enough. Kind of let some things slide. Yeah, but this news coverage has been really just a lot of happy talk. Right. So you were part of that older generation that had the really weird experience with the nuns and the rulers hitting your knuckles, and yeah. No, I was more like the guitar mass generation. Oh, with the new Vatican and yeah. And we had guitar masses, and that was like around the time, when I was just about the age to start liking girls, right? So being in the youth choir and having the guitar masses and having the boys and girls together, it was it was kind of exciting. Oh, and the midnight masses. And I had some very happy memories there in the Catholic Church. Yeah, I kind of missed out on that. I was gone by then. I left as a teenager. I got to thinking, this isn't for me. Yeah, me too. Like as a young teenager, I enjoyed the guitar masses and all that sort of thing. But even while that was happening, I think that kept me in the church longer by a couple years than I would have stayed, right? Because I was having a good time. But the religion itself and the kind of weird things they would say, I got to the point where, like during church, when we're all talking together, right, there's lots of sort of, yeah, we read things in unison a lot in the Catholic Church. Yeah. And the one thing so it was like in stages. I would stop saying certain things that I didn't believe in. The one I remember the most is, we believe in one holy, I forgot what it was. Apostolic, is that a word? Well, basically, the meaning was that we're all going to heaven, everybody else is screwed, Right. So I would, while we're all saying that, I would just like move my lips and not say it. So that's what you, yeah. And then it got to the point where I just like not even bother moving my lips. I just stopped. I'm not going to say that. I believe in one holy, and then everybody else is going to, like I say, I can't now remember what it was. But I remember I didn't like it. Right. And then soon after that, it's like, I can't do this anymore. I had to go, so. But some very happy memories. I loved the midnight masses. They were fantastic. Oh, on Christmas Eve, you mean? Right. Christmas Eve, midnight mass. Those are the best. And it was mostly, by then, it was all about the music. Yeah. But we both went to Catholic schools. Yeah, I went to Catholic school up through 6th grade. And then, it was a big transition going to public schools then for middle school. It seemed like, the big mean public school kids. Right. There is that transition. But, you make it all right. Okay, so any other final thoughts here as we wrap up our episode on the new Pope? No, I guess, like we said, I'm very happy for everybody that they're happy. What do you think? Yeah, that, and one thing else I noticed, Catholics are the only people who I've ever seen anywhere who hold the book for the priest. I've never seen any other sort of politician or any other religion do that. Oh, you mean where? Oh, right, they have either an altar boy or another priest, an underling sort of, a lesser, it's their hierarchy, I guess. They have them hold the book. Yeah, and I did that as an altar boy. I would hold the book for the priest. I'd hold it up, and then he'd turn the page, and so I'm like a human music stand, right? Right? Who does that? That's so. It's kind of weird. So of course they did that again yesterday. They got the guy there holding, and then they got another guy holding the microphone. Right. So he's a human microphone stand. He's a human mic.
Who does that?
That's so like quintessentially Catholic. Human mic stands and human lecterns, right? The lectern that holds the book. No, can't put a lectern out there. Let's have the altar boy or the underling priest just hold it, the book and the mic. Or that I found, I don't know. Who else? Nobody does that. No, I don't. I think you're right. And then just the closing thought here, where we opened. Everybody's so dang happy, and that's why we try not to be too cynical about this thing. It's easy to be cynical about religion, but people are so happy. You just have to be happy for them, right? Oh, sure. Let's all be happy for a couple of days. Why not? Who's it going to hurt? You know, I think that, you know, showing all the coverage, all the news footage, you know, that's fine. And it's good to see people happy. Like I said before, you can't even compare to fans after a Super Bowl. They're happy, but in a whole different way. It's like you just saw light in people's eyes. Like, holy cow, like real, true, deep happiness. Like, right. Like, and that's why we steer away from the words like spiritual, but it was like spiritual happiness. These people weeping. Yeah, it was not, you know, who's going to be cynical about that, right? I think, you know, we'll see that again when the Orange Menace dies. I think people will fill the streets, and we'll see that same light in people's eyes. I think we're going to see pure joy in people's eyes. There's going to be weeping and dancing in the streets when the Orange Menace dies. Well, I agree with you, of course, but why did you have to bring him back into it? We were having such a nice time. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess you're right. Okay. Well, no more of that. All right. So there it is. There's this episode of Charles Purcell Presents. I'm Chucky Bucky, and that's Uncle Chuck. So, all right then. Well, take care, Uncle Chuck. Well, you too, Chucky Bucky. Good to see you. And it was nice for Charles Purcell to invite us in to handle this episode for him and talk about the new Pope. So, you know, God bless everybody, and off we go. Good luck to you all, and hey there, hi there, ho there, signing off. Take care. All right, then.
This episode of Charles Purcell Presents is available right now wherever you find your podcasts, or go to the website charlespurcell.com for the full archive and all the other series in the podcast family. Follow me on Blue Sky and Substack. Write to me at charlespurcell@gmail. Thanks to our flagship terrestrial station, River West Radio, riverwestradio.com. Theme music composed and performed by Peter Donalds. From the New Arts and Media Studios in Milwaukee, I'm Charles Purcell.